Hello everyone. What I'm going to talk about or answer in this video is a question I've received on what happens to Collect9 NFTs that get stuck within inaccessible crypto wallets. I've even had people comment that physical NFTs in general are a bad idea because of the potential to lose the NFT's certified ownership through accidental loss of wallet access. But what many don't know is that when you involve a centralized entity like Collect9, there is a solution to this problem. And for all you crypto bros who really dislike the word centralized, I'm going to demonstrate how in this instance, it's actually a good thing. Because without the centralized entity, this solution, as far as I know, isn't possible. So let's get to it. How does Collect9 prevent someone from losing access to what their Collect9 NFT certifies, that is, ownership and possession rights of a real-world physical collectible? Let's begin by discussing how permanent loss of access to a crypto wallet occurs. When you first install either a new software or hardware wallet, you're typically supplied with a randomly generated 12 or 24-word passphrase, a phrase that functions as your wallet's backup. So let's say you install MetaMask, which is a popular Ethereum wallet, and then sometime later your browser's cache is wiped or your SSD dies. You'll find yourself setting up MetaMask once again from the beginning. And the only way to resume where you left off is to import your original 12 or 24-word passphrase. So without that original passphrase, you can't recover. And trying to brute force recover is going to be all but impossible unless you have good prior knowledge to what that phrase may be. So clearly, one of the most important, if not the most important thing anyone can do is to save their 12 or 24-word passphrase somewhere. And preferably in a location that's not digital, but on something like a piece of paper or a fireproof tool like the Crypto Steel Capsule. I need to stress a location that's not digital because almost everyone who has had their personal crypto wallet compromised has been due to the attacker finding some digital source of information on the victim. Maybe a screenshot, a text file. Keep your phrase offline. But things can still happen. For example, you might write down your phrase in a notebook and then toss it into the trash a few years later without realizing. So now, what happens if a Collect9 NFT owner loses access to their wallet? Because in that scenario, the NFT owner is no longer able to resell or redeem the NFT. It's effectively stuck on that wallet forever. Normally, that would represent total and permanent loss for the NFT owner. But because of the way Collect9 is set up and operates, Collect9 has developed a safeguard against this. And as a disclaimer, this safeguard only applies to Collect9 NFTs and to nothing else in your Ethereum wallet. So let's direct our attention now to the crypto address registration page you see on your screen. You can find this page by clicking on the wallet icon on the upper right of the website, and then clicking the registered link in the middle of the following page. Registration functions for two primary purposes. The first is that it provides protection against lost NFTs due to accidental permanent loss of wallet access. That's what the basic registration accomplishes. And second, it's the first and one-time only step per crypto address to a multi-step NFT redemption process. That's what the advanced registration adds on top of basic registration. So now let's go through the basic registration because right now we're only looking for the wallet access loss safeguard. To register, all you have to do is fill out the form and click Register Basic. Now before I submit this form, I want to point out that you have the option to have your personal information omitted from the confirmation email follow-up you'll receive. And I also want to stress this. Any personal information you put into this form is not stored anywhere other than potentially in that confirmation follow-up email. Okay, so here I am filling out this form with a made-up person, made-up email address, and made-up shipping address. Actually, the shipping address is real, but we're going to use this mail testing service here so we can see what the follow-up email looks like. And let me just pull up the street address that quickly popped up on Google. You can see it's a pretty simple form that where all you're doing is just putting in your shipping address. And again, I'm going to leave this unchecked so we can see the full contents of the follow-up email. So when I first click Register Basic, there's going to be an address format option that pops up. You can either go with your raw input that you used, or you can go with a Google API formatted input. Whichever format you go with, you're going to have to supply again later. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and use the Google API formatted one. So after I click use formatted, I can see MetaMask pop up, and there's a message here that says, by signing this message, I verify my personal information is accurate, and that I've also safely recorded my randomly generated PIN. I also confirm I'm required to provide this exact information again for my registration to be verifiable to me. So here's a summary of the personal information I put in, including the shipping address, and here's the randomly generated PIN. I'm going to go ahead and click sign. And here now we have a pop-up that says the confirmation email has been sent. Let's go ahead and take a look at that confirmation email now. So it should be there by now. And I'm not sure why this all of a sudden popped up, but am I on localhost? Nope. I'm actually, okay, well, I'll fix that in a little bit. Here we go. So here's the contents of the email address. And you can see how I put in this personal information here. It's there. There's my PIN code. And it says this data is required to confirm the wallet address. This is the wallet address I signed from on Ethereum using the signed digital signature, which is displayed right here. So upon signing, there was a digital signature that was generated, and this is it. Now, the information you provided in the form and PIN code combined with your generated digital signature are what point back to your Ethereum crypto wallet address. So now if you did this registration and then lost access to your wallet, what you do is contact Collect9 to provide your registration information as displayed in this email. Collect9 would then go ahead and use that information to verify that it does point back to your crypto wallet. I'll show you how that works right now. Without getting too technical, I'm now using a form that calls some code with well-known Ethereum signature verification functions. When I put in the registration information, the output will be a crypto wallet address. So here we've got 3 form input fields, and I'm going to go ahead and put them in. So here's the personal information, the PIN code, and the generated digital signature. Now when I click call, we're going to get an output, and it's a wallet address that matches that of inside the email exactly. So here's the one address, and there's the other, which match. Now, what happens when I change the input of this form by just a tiny bit, say by just changing the casing of one letter in the shipping address? Let's go ahead and do that. I'll click call, and you see that it now points to a completely different Ethereum address. If I change, split back the correct shipping address, if I change the PIN just a tiny bit, again, it's a completely different Ethereum address. And the same thing with the digital signature. It's not even a valid one, so it's giving me an address of 0. So you can see this is how and why Collect9 doesn't need to store any of your registration information. You just need to provide it to Collect9 only if needed. Now, for those a little familiar with digital signatures, you may be asking, why sign off on any personal information at all and not just the more generic signature? And the answer is this: to protect the signer. Because by signing off on a specific identity, if an attacker gains access to any of that information, say by breach of email, the attacker can't really do anything with it. Because what are they going to do? Try to get Collect9 to release the physical collectible to the rightful owner? And then Collect9 would also run a KYC check involving a second release confirmation from that rightful owner. There's just no outlet for an attacker to do anything with this information. But if there was no identity tied to the signature, then the attacker might try to claim that they are the signer and the rightful owner with whatever identity they provide afterwards. So that's it. Anyone who might be interested in Collect9 NFTs should at minimum do the basic registration. There's no downside. It's free, and it protects you without exposing any of your personal information to anyone but yourself. And if you think you may redeem later, consider doing the advanced registration. I mentioned before that it is the first and one-time only step per crypto address to a multi-step NFT redemption process. Because advanced registration involves an update to the Ethereum blockchain, it costs some money to do that. And I'll go ahead and pull up those costs right now. I'll go ahead and refresh, see if we get a more recent cost figure. But you can see at the most recently pulled Ethereum price and gas fees, it's around $2.60 to do advanced registration. So there we go. At a price of nearly $1,600 and a gas price of 33 Wei, it's around $2.50. This price will fluctuate plus or minus 50% in a single day just due to this gas fee fluctuating. Now, if we ever return to $4,000 Ethereum or 100 plus way gas fees, all of these cost figures in this table, including the advanced registration, are going to be more than 7 times their current price in US dollars. So there's a chance to save a little bit of money on future token redemption costs by doing the advanced registration ahead of time. And I'll even go ahead and just do that right now. So remember, advanced registration adds on top of what basic registration does. So if you do the advanced registration, you get the basic registration plus the benefits of completing the first step of a multi-step NFT redemption process. So I'll just go ahead and click Register Advanced. See the same address format option pop up. I'll say Use Formatted. Again, we have a signature request popping up. We're going to go ahead and sign. We have the confirmation email sent now. That takes care of basic registration. And then now we have a second notification pop up in MetaMask telling us we have to now also send a transaction to update the Ethereum blockchain. And you can see here the price is close to $2. So the Collect9 website isn't too far off. Again, the gas fees will fluctuate pretty quickly from minute to minute even. You can even see the prices changing here. And I don't have funds, but normally you click confirm, and then that would take care of your advanced registration. If you found this interesting, please share it, because one of my goals is to push a real-world application-based use case of blockchain technology. What I've discussed in this video could be used for any other entity handling physical NFTs in a manner like Collect9. I also just have to say that more than a decade into this tech, the fact that we still see so much low-effort, VC-funded, high ROI attempts resulting in completely useless products with only the purpose to extract money out of people, leaving them with nothing, aka ICO tokens in 2017 and NFTs in 2020, is really disappointing. Because neither of those two things are inherently useless, it's just what people have been using them for. Now, me personally, I'd love to hold stock like ERC20 tokens that represent ownership in a company and maybe even give me voting rights, or physically backed NFTs as opposed to JPEGs. But that's just me. Anyway, hopefully the next progress update comes a little bit sooner than 2 months from now, but I can't really say there's much of a rush with the current state of the Web3 market. It's a pretty good time just to best ensure everything works as intended, so I will try to get this store up as quickly as possible so things are done. Registration was a big task to finish. There's still some testing left on the store contract, and then Collect9 also has to take a look at which countries and regions it will be able to offer redemption to. All right, so that's it. Till next time.